Hey guys, we're back at it with another Friday morning live.
Friday morning Q&A time.
So we're always excited to be back here with you guys for Friday mornings, one of our favorite days of the week. So we're all set up here. We got our morning tea over here, green smoothies.
Green smoothies is a staple for us. We have one every morning. And it's funny because, well, maybe not funny, but interesting because we crave green smoothies like some people would crave caffeine, for example. So if you're looking to make a transition from conventional caffeinated drinks, green smoothies are awesome because they provide a lot of energy in the morning and they give your body an energy boost, and it's very cleansing as well. So you can use them as a detoxifying food as well. So if, for example, you were feeling a little bit dehydrated, or if you had some food, maybe you went out to a restaurant the night before and wasn't feeling the best in the morning, whip up a green smoothie, that'll get you back on track.
I know that green smoothie is sounds like a stretch for a lot of people. They're like, green smoothie, yeah. And you know what? We've been having it or enjoying green smoothies for years now. But when I first started, it took me like 3 or 4 times. Like I was like, oh, green smoothie, here are all these benefits, and I tried one and I was like, well, no thanks. And then it took a couple months later, I tried again, and I was like, not really interested.
Well, and it took me a long time too. We didn't start actually, like right now we have about 8 ounces or so of green smoothie in the morning. But we didn't start out that way. We started out with, I started out with a little 1 ounce shot glass. Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can just drink this little bit. And then, of course, as you know, or as we always talk about, your taste buds change and you begin to crave and look forward to those healthier foods. So now we really look forward to our green smoothie, and if we forget to make it, we feel it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's something that we look forward to. So your taste buds do change, and sometimes we talk about food or transitioning to healthier lifestyles, and people are like, I can never have a cheeseburger again. I'm like, you can have one, but
you won't want one.
Sooner or later, as you progress and have cleaner foods and healthier foods for your body and your taste buds are going to want better food. So you don't have to worry about that. It'll take care of itself. We have some comments here. We had Vanda said this earlier, so we're not quite sure if she's around, but she says, are you guys going live soon? Was hoping to catch you from Italy.
Nice, Vanda.
So that'd be pretty cool if we could catch you from Italy, Vanda. We don't know what you're doing or what's happening, so fill us in.
Fill us in.
Sue said good morning.
Good morning, Sue.
Oh, there you go.
Good morning.
Shauna.
Oh, Shauna.
Love your t-shirt.
Yeah, this is my race shirt, you guys. Keep calm and run on. It was pretty cool because never have I had a race package delivered to my house. So usually it's a big event, I suppose. You go, you get your race package, there's a trade show, there's lots of people, there's lineups. But this is quite a bit smaller run. So per wave, there's only 25 people, which is crazy because usually I'm used to running with hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. So it's going to be pretty relaxed and pretty low-key kind of run. There is, I think, 9 different waves or something like that. So the amount of people will add up, but I think it's really neat that in my particular wave, there's only going to be 25 people. So
you're going to have a big lineup when you try to get in?
Yeah.
Shuffle in there like a
usually you're in a corral, like cattle, and then they have your countdown, and then you go. But usually you don't even get your stride until at least between 500 meters to a kilometer, if that, because there's just so many people bottlenecked. So it takes you a while for everyone to shuffle out and for you to get your stride. But this one I'm pretty excited about because you won't have that. So it'll just be me and 24 other people.
As we say, Sue. Good morning, Sue.
Morning, Sue.
Hilda, my mama, she says, good morning, California.
Good morning.
We're still here in sunny California.
Oh gosh, it is so beautiful. We feel so fortunate every morning that we wake up. We have a nice balcony, and we sip our tea and read our books. Palm trees, sunshine, warm.
Warm. Shauna says, tomorrow's a big day for you. We're cheering you on.
Thank you, Shauna.
And Chantel said, good morning, Drew and Dorothy from rainy Edmonton.
Good morning, Chantel. Rain, though, Chantel, better than that white stuff.
I thought it'd be snowing there by now.
It did. Remember Chantel posted the picture?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what was it? Oh, you had posted, Chantel, you said, Merry Christmas. Or, I mean, Happy Thanksgiving. On the Thanksgiving weekend, so...
Yeah, so you have your run coming up. If some viewers aren't quite sure, Dorothy has her half marathon coming up
tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's so much work leading up to a run, and it's not just the training schedule itself. Like I put a lot of miles on, and like throughout the week, I chose to run. Or different runners choose different amounts of miles before a run, but I choose to do 4 days a week seems to work well for me. Some people do 5 days a week of running, some 3. I'd be interested to try 3 days a week to see what recovery was like, because when you're constantly running and putting those miles on your legs, on your feet, on your joints, like you have to be really careful and make sure your recovery is spot on. So it's not just the 2-hour run, the 2-hour prep run, or the 1.5-hour prep run. It's pretty much all day event, right? Because you wake up, you prepare for the run, so you get your nutrition intact for the run, which sometimes it takes me a couple hours just to prepare for the run. Because I have my stretching, I have my nutrition, I have my liquids, and my hydration, and all of my... What do you call them, Drew? Like my magnesium and stuff.
Maintenance.
Maintenance. So I do my prep and my maintenance. Then you're running. You're running for at least an hour. That's my minimum run. And my maximum was 2 hours. So then after you run, you have to recover. And usually my recovery takes about an hour. So you're looking at pretty much a full-time job.
Some people do that as a full-time job.
They do, yeah. And that's a half marathon. We have friends that are ultra runners. So ultra is anything above a full marathon. And it's crazy. Like, it really is a job.
Well, there's so much to it. And, I think you're scratching the surface, but almost a little bit worried because Dorothy has, I'm always proud of Dorothy because she always does well with her goals. She sets goals, and then after one goal, she makes a bigger goal. And I'm like, oh man, what's next? I'm not quite prepared to share my next goal, but Drew and I have been talking about it, and it's pretty big. Drew's like, ah! It's do some research around that first.
Yeah, but I do have a new goal in mind that I will probably share. I don't know.
Maybe finish this one
first. But we do have a new goal in the works for me, but I'm not quite prepared to share that one yet.
Well, this one here, this was the first half marathon that Dorothy will be, I would say, this prepared for. And I feel very confident. Well, I know that after this race, you're not going to be laying in the fetal position being like, oh my gosh, what did I do to myself? You actually have a chance to finish strong and be like, wow, that's part of my training. This is not easy, but it's manageable.
Mm-hmm. And it's been so fun and so, what's the word? Training here has been phenomenal. Phenomenal. The weather is gorgeous, and literally my runs, I run along the ocean. Palm trees, sunshine, views, and the atmosphere here is so different. Like, I'm not running alone. Because there's so many other people out being active and running as well. And a lot of times when I train in olds, it's just me. And there's not that, I know people are being active in olds, but it's not like there's a running community on the Strand. Like, you know what I mean? Because the Strand is the path that runs along the beach, and there's like a little community of runners, and there's always people on their bicycles, running, skateboarding, rollerblading, and it's just a really nice atmosphere.
We had some comments here. Jessica says, "Go Dorothy, go."
Thanks, Jessica.
And then, did I pull these ones? Oh, Susan's talking about the weather here. She says it's been snowing on and off since September 16th. But
a lot each time, but it goes. That's good.
And then Nikki's in here. Good morning,
Hey,
Nikki.
good morning, Nikki.
Thanks for joining us, Nikki. We have a handful of you in our monthly membership. Nikki is, Chantel is, Shauna is. Did I miss anyone? Shauna, Vanda, Hilda. So thank you guys. This is our True Form Life community that we have going on our membership. So we can give you more details if anyone's interested in that. We should probably get into the show. There's a couple things I want to mention quickly because I'm excited. This one here came highly recommended. This new book I got. Every time I get a new book from the library, it's like Christmas. And then I can't wait to open it. This one is called Radical Acceptance, Embracing Your Life with the Heart of Buddha. And you can tell a book is going to be a good book. Well, I can tell when I open it up and read a few pages.
You read 2 paragraphs. Like, oh my gosh, listen to this.
So I always share the best parts or exciting parts or interesting parts with Dorothy. I don't know if she always enjoys that. Are you ever like, stop reading from your book to me?
No, because I feel that Drew reads the book and he shares the good parts with me. So then I get all the good parts.
Yeah.
But we went to the library yesterday because I actually got to print off my own race bib, which is pretty cool because you get to decide what you put on it. Usually you get a random number.
Oh, you should have showed them.
Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where we put it.
Oh, I don't know where you put it either.
But I can go look for it. Anyway, we went to the library to print off my race bib, and Drew's like, my book is in! Because he had ordered this one special. So he got the book and, of course, immediately opened it and was reading it. And I was like, need some help here.
It's a good book. Super excited about it. I've been going through books like crazy. It's so nice that we have this. We're in Redondo Beach, and then they have this giant library, and there's all kinds of books, and you can find just about any book. And this one here, I just picked it up, and they actually ordered it in, so it's pretty cool that I'm talking here.
I'm sharing my race bib.
Tell them how you came up with.
Yeah, well, most of you voted. So on my personal page, I put up what do you call it?
I don't know, a question.
I put up a question.
I'm gonna take a screenshot.
Okay, just a second.
Look up there. So Dorothy asked a question on her personal page. She offered a few different options, and she said, "Which one do you like?" And most people picked that.
There was only a handful that picked different ones, but most of you were on there and voted. Shauna, Chantel, pretty sure Jessica, you did. Nikki, you did. And so, thank you. It's always nice to have your support and your input. And a lot of times when I put up those questions, or Drew, you too, it feels like, we are
not alone.
Yeah.
Like fully supported with people in the community and our social media pages. So, and it's pretty cool. Like Dorothy and I often have conversations, and I'm like, and we don't know the answer, and I'm like,
ask our people.
Yeah. Like, we ask on our membership group a lot of the time. We ask on our personal pages, and it's pretty cool to be able to get feedback right away. So It's like, I don't know, ask on your page. So you ask, and then you get all this feedback, and then it feels like you're working together. It's not just the two of us, or you're not just doing it alone.
Yeah, so I'll be wearing this tomorrow, True Form Strong. There's a few different options that I came up with, and I asked Drew I asked Drew, which one, do you like? And he's like, I don't know. Ask your people. So thank you guys for all your votes for True Form Strong. It's a little bit bigger than a normal race bib, so I might wear it on my back. They usually don't like you wearing them on your back because that's something to do with the chip. But our chips aren't on our bibs this time. They're going to be, I don't know how they're doing chips, but sometimes they do bracelets or ankle bands as well. So, yay!
Anyways, we got Hilda says, good choice, Dorothy.
Thank you.
Chantel said, woohoo, True Form Strong.
That's the one Chantel voted for. And same with Shauna.
That was my vote, too. They were good ones. They're all good ones.
Yes.
Louise is in here.
Hey, Louise.
I think
Good morning.
Louise was one of the first. You asked for 8 letters. Louise was one of the first to say True Form is 8 letters.
Yes, that was, what was that? I don't know where, was that Cooking with Dorothy or something? Oh no, that was when I did my live video about opening my race kit.
Oh yeah.
So I did a video. If you didn't see, you can go back and look on my page. It's just a short little video of when I got my race package because they mailed it, and the mailman comes the mailmans here have crazy hours. Like our mailman doesn't come until dark. Here at Redondo Beach. He usually comes, around sunset-ish. Like 6:30, 7-ish.
Or 7 in the summer.
7-ish. So, we don't usually get our mail, until, between 7 and 8 sometimes, right? Because he parks his little car in front of our house and then gets out and walks.
All over,
our area. And that's just how they do it here. It's pretty cool. But crazy hours. It's just crazy. So I was waiting, and then Drew said, I think I saw the mail truck. So I ran downstairs and my package was there, and I want to open it right away, but Drew's like, I think you should open it on your page, do a live video in the morning. And I was like, wow, I didn't want to wait. I was too excited. But I did wait, and it was like Christmas morning, because I had something to look forward to in the morning.
Yes, it was fun, and that goes back to just doing it together, with the community. And I think you had so much support online with people supporting you through your posts as you've been posting throughout your training.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool to bring people on. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to. We'll probably post tomorrow morning when Dorothy's getting ready, and maybe I'll put up a post on a page while in the middle of her run. And then of course we'll let you guys know how it goes. So.
The pictures get less and less attractive as we go. My first pictures, I'm always like, yay, let's do this. And my middle pictures are like, okay, I still got this. And then my last end pictures are like, when I have nothing left. My last run though was pretty emotional. It was my Running for Rosina run. And I did a campaign for Rosina, our good friend who passed away, and it was really emotional. And the weather was it was in Canmore, and the weather was raining and cold, and it was a miserable day for running. And I literally, when I crossed the finish line, I dragged Drew to finish the last couple 100 meters with me. He was taking pictures and I was breaking down. So I grabbed Drew from the crowd, and he ran the last couple 100 meters with me. And at the finish line, I fell into Drew's arms and started bawling. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. I looked at him. I'm hyperventilating, I'm never doing this again. And Drew looked at me. He's like, yeah, we'll see about that.
Dorothy gets. That's why I said this one's so different, because you're trained mentally, physically. And so Dorothy gets these things, she had this water belt, and she's like, oh, I'm never using that again. So she's going to toss it. And now Dorothy has this issue with getting rid of everything. So I was like, why don't you just hold on to it for now, and we'll see if it's something you might use in the future.
I'm never running these runs again, so don't need this water belt. Just why don't you just hang on to it? But so hopefully this run will be a little bit different emotionally. It will be.
It will be, yeah. So we should get into our topic. We
Yes.
just had a question about the author for the featured book this week. I feel like I've been reading a book a week. I got 3 books on the go
I've
right
been
now.
reading a lot.
Yeah,
It's good.
I've really been enjoying it. This one's called. This is by the title again was Radical Acceptance, embracing your life with the heart of Buddha, and the author is Tara Brach, Brach. And like I said, I opened it up, and she was just talking about accepting herself. And I think we all have issues accepting ourselves. And she was talking about how she was like having a talk with her friend, and her friend was talking about how she was working on being her own best friend. And then after their own conversation, she was like in tears because she said, I would never treat myself as good as I would treat a friend. And I think most of us would fall into that category. So I think this one here is going to be more about personal acceptance and something that we could all work on. So I'm going to put that to the side.
You know what? I've been reading a lot of recipe books.
Well, Dorothy's working on her own recipe book, so she's got like stacks of recipe books and trying to find like the best parts from each one. So that's very cool.
I came back from the library the other day with my backpack on all hunched over. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got like 10 recipe books in my backpack. He's like, oh my gosh.
we have stacks of books. It's so awesome having a library here that has
any book you want, and if they don't have it, they'll get it in for you.
Yeah. So we have books everywhere. I'm reading 3 books right now, and I'm like, and Dorothy's like, there's a lot of books here. I'm like, you just relax.
I was going to the grocery store, which is right by the library, and I was like, any books I can return?
You stay away from my books. Morning, Janice. We got Janice tuned in here.
Hey, Janice.
Can you guys let us know? So our main topic is about Halloween here. Can you guys let us know about the times? I kind of feel like the later we go, the more people we tune in.
Mm.
Is 8 o'clock Mountain Time, and then that's 7 o'clock Eastern Time good for you guys? Just let us know in the comments.
Oh.
Did I say that right?
Eastern. Western.
Or sorry, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, not Western.
8
a.m. Mountain
Pacific.
Time.
You said 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Pacific Time.
Yes, Western Time.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes.
10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, there. You got it back down.
All right. I think I got it right the first time. Okay, so our main topic is we want to talk about not Thanksgiving.
Halloween treats.
Halloween treats.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about.
So Halloween's a challenging time because and I understand like some parents are like, oh, I don't like Halloween. Like they really despise Halloween because of the candies, because of the treats, because of their kids. So we're going to talk about that today. I want to mention that I absolutely love Halloween.
Yes.
And I'm not like a commercialized type of person. Like I really love Christmas, but I really dislike the commercialized side of it with all the presents and too many gifts and people spending way too much money. I love like the memories of childhood and the songs, and for Halloween I love to be scared. I love the pumpkins. I love the scary music, the movies. So I know you want to jump in here.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, I do.
Can I say it?
Tell 'em.
We went to Queen Mary last night, Dark Harbor, and it was so cool. So it was in Long Beach in the harbor, and Queen Mary, the big boat, was in, like, of course it's there in the harbor, but there was 6 different mazes, they call them, or haunted houses that you go through, and I think 2 or 3 of them were on the boat.
Yeah.
Because
3 of them.
Drew was telling me that some people believe that it's a haunted, right?
Yeah.
It's a haunted ship.
Oh, it's haunted.
Drew thinks it's haunted. But anyway, it was crazy. These haunted houses there's all different themes. There was one that was a circus, so you have all these clowns popping out at you. There was one that was, what different ones? A murder scene. Oh my gosh, there's all different. A baby one, like with like a baby toy themed one with dolls and oh my, it was just crazy. And then outside of the houses, there was all these performers. So when Drew and I went to walk in to the main event, so there's this big archway where you go to walk in to get to the houses, and there was this contortionist clown / scary person, all like contorted and dragging herself like creepily towards us, and Drew and I freaked out because it's not just what they're doing, like their actions. It was also the noises they make. Oh my gosh, they make some creepy noises. And so it was like slithering over to us, and Drew and I freaked out and started running. And then all these other ones knew that we were freaked out, so they came and were chasing us and scaring us. And it was crazy. We lost our friend because, well, we ended up finding him again. But it was crazy.
Yeah, I'm just pulling on pictures here. I kind of get a little bit crazy with pictures sometimes, and last night was definitely one of them because I love Halloween so much, and there's this guy's on stilts here, and it was awesome. It was so amazingly put together, and the clowns were so real, and the
makeup and the costumes and the houses were all decorated. Oh, this guy scared me in line. So we were in line for one of the houses, and he had this like rat thing or bat thing that he like flicked at you. And I was like, ah!
He's like, gotcha.
Where's one of the last pictures? One of the last pictures we took.
Look at this one. Look how real that is. Like,
so creepy.
So when you're walking throughout the harbor, they have like those type of mannequins, and
you know what is crazy too is it looks so real that you're not sure what is a mannequin and what is a real person. So you walk around the corner and you're like, oh my gosh, was that a real person or was that the mannequin? Because it's just so real. And I think they do that on purpose so you're not sure, because they can be standing there looking like a mannequin and then jump out at you.
Yeah. It was crazy. So much fun. I wanted to find a group picture of us, and we went with a good friend of ours, Lewis, and I thought you guys might want to see a nice picture of us before we actually got in. But I was like jumping around. I was so excited.
He was so excited. He woke up excited. When I wasn't sure if I was going to go because it's a little scary and I get nightmares. So I didn't want to have nightmares for a week. But we did go to Screamfest in Calgary last year, and it was pretty awesome too, actually. And I didn't have nightmares after that, so I thought, well, it took me a lot. And even after we got the tickets, I thought, I'm not sure if I should do this, Drew. But I didn't have nightmares last night, so we should be okay.
Anyways, this is a picture of the three of us, and it was Lewis was going to bring his kids, but the kids are too scared to go. And then Dorothy was talking about not going, and I was like, you might regret not coming. So, anyways, she decided that she was going to come, and we had an absolute blast. Mm-hmm. Just want to look at some comments here, you guys. So, everyone says, looks like 8 a.m. Shauna says 8 a.m. Susan says good. Louise, good. Janice says she's good. Okay, well, we'll stay with 8 for now. We were at 7:30 Mountain Time. And it seemed like the later we were going, the more people were tuning in. So we're like, well, maybe we're going too early. But we'll give this a shot for now.
I like what Jessica says about Christmas.
What did she say?
Christmas doesn't come from a store. Christmas means a little bit more. You know it, right?
The who? Dr. Seuss?
The Grinch.
We're big Christmas fans. Wait till Christmas comes. If you think we're Halloween fans, wait till Christmas comes.
We may have already started listening to Christmas music. Maybe.
Oh, Louis says Queen Mary's definitely haunted, and it was so cool. There was this morning, Ruby.
Hey, Ruby.
There was this lady, and she was so funny because there's this big giant ship. Like picture like
it's like Titanic looking, right?
Yeah, it's this big giant ship in the background, and because everything's in front of it for the most part, unless you go on the ship to the different mazes. And there's this lady, like, she was reached out the window and she was like waving. She was like, it was so funny.
She was blowing kisses.
She was like,
and Drew was like blowing kisses back to her.
She was like way up there. Like, I'm a little scratchy from screaming a little bit last night. But, she was like blowing kisses and waving. She was like pretending like she was famous, but I thought she like really felt like she was famous at that time.
Well, the people behind, like, she wouldn't let up. Like, she just kept waving and just kept blowing kisses. And we were in line for quite, like, 15 minutes most times, 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, longer than that.
Sometimes 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people. And so the people behind us were like, well, what is she doing? Like, what is she thinking or whatever? And Drew turns around to them and he's like, she's going on a voyage.
She thinks she's famous.
She thinks she's famous and she's going on this big trip across the ocean.
She was loving it. She was so funny. What if she wasn't real?
Oh, stop it.
What if she was
Stop that.
What if she was one of the ghosts? What if she was a real person, like way back in the day when it like launched?
She could have been.
They had all kinds of.
Although I think she'd probably be. I don't think she was old enough.
Why? You think ghosts age?
Okay, Drew.
Okay. So that was our fun. That was our Halloween fun. We did dress up last year. We got our face painted. We're gonna carve pumpkins. Does anyone else carve pumpkins? Let us know in the comments.
We love carving pumpkins.
Yeah, that's big. And can you guys put some hearts up there too? That'd be great. Okay, so let's start off with your number one tip. Looks like I got a tan. Do I have a
Well, I was
sunglass
thinking
tan?
in that picture, I looked kind of white around here. My number one tip. Well, I have lots of tips.
Number one tip.
Let's start by breaking it up into two different
Oh
categories.
boy, here we go. Dorothy doesn't do anything unless it's organized to the T.
Well, I have kind of two different categories. I have the preparing for Halloween and then the getting, like, the aftermath of the Halloween and having all the candy. So I think specifically we're talking more about the actual day of Halloween and trick-or-treating and the candy. And oh my gosh, what do you do with all the massiveness of the candy?
The massiveness.
So, but one of my number one tips for preparing for the trick-or-treaters or the candy night, the night of candy, I think one of the hardest things is that after the trick-or-treaters are all gone, we are left with all of this candy ourselves, because we are afraid that we'll run out. So it's like, oh, I don't want to run out of candy, so I gotta have a lot. But last year I got this many trick-or-treaters, but what if this year I get this many, right? We have that fear of running out of candy, so I think we buy way more than we actually need, but then what happens is at the end of the night, then we're stuck with the candy, which is super tempting. Like, we know that when we don't have those temptations in the house, you're not going to eat them. But when they're right there in front of you, it's going to be much harder. So one of my tips would be to try not to overbuy. Like, try to buy just what you need. And then also when it gets a little bit later on in the night, the more generous I get. So it's like, just try to get rid of it so it's not in your house. So, and another idea about leftovers is to buy something that you yourself don't particularly fancy, or it's not like your favorite. Because if you go out and buy your favorite chips and your favorite chocolate bars and all of the favorite things, then with the leftovers, you're going to want to eat them all. But if you buy something like, maybe you're not a cheesy fan, really, and so you buy cheesies for the trick-or-treaters, then you would be less tempted to have the cheesies that are left over at the end of the night because you don't really like cheesies.
Very good tips. I just have to point out that I pulled up this picture, and that's a crazy picture. Look at those guys. Look how scary they are. That's how they all look. And imagine those chasing you around all night.
Chasing you. But not just chasing you. Sometimes they would, like, sneak up behind you and go, like, Or like these creepy noises. Oh, it was crazy, you guys.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that it's as scary as you want it to be.
Right.
Like if you put yourself into the environment and you're like actually like having fun and being like, oh, I could actually be scared. It's not like a danger scare. Like it's not like you're in real danger.
No.
It's like a fun type of scary. And there's times where I was like really scared. But if you could walk through something
Holding
like
on
that.
to my belt loop.
I was protecting you.
He was like holding on to my behind me, holding on to my belt loop.
Wait, there are these parts where Dorothy was like hiding behind me.
Oh, I was.
And her nails were like in my skin. They were like, and I was like, ah!
So Lewis has a little bit more, like our friend Lewis that we went to, he's not as freaked out, I suppose. He's pretty calm, like no matter what situation. Like he's just a calm guy. So if it's like scary, if it's whatever it is, he's just pretty mellow. So we're like, Lewis, you're going first. I'm like, I'll be in the middle, sandwiched between you.
And I was like, I don't want to go last.
And Drew was in the back. And usually the last person, usually they get like the first person really good and then something will sneak up behind the last person. But anyway, there was this one part where you have to cross this bridge and it's pitch black. It's like pitch black. And Lewis was kind of ahead of me, and I got to the edge and I looked at Drew and said, my legs are moving. I don't think I can do this.
He's like, I can't do this.
I can't do this part. And I'm like turning around, and Drew goes in front of me, so I'm holding onto his t-shirt like, anyway. We have tons of stories. It's crazy night.
Okay, we talked about carving pumpkins. What do we got here? What did Louise say? As everyone saw her, likely not a ghost. Not everyone sees ghosts. Oh yeah, it's true, Louise. She wasn't a real person. She was a real person.
Yeah,
just playing a bit there. Ruby says we carve a few pumpkins and roast all the seeds.
Yeah, we like roasting the seeds too.
One of our traditions, Ruby. We love
what do you like to put on your seeds, Ruby? Do you have a special seasoning you put on them? Usually we just keep it really simple and put Himalayan salt on ours.
Yep. What does you're drilling your pumpkin? What does that mean, Jessica? This year I'm drilling my pumpkin.
Oh, it's gonna be super fancy, I think. Hey, Jessica.
Like carving it, like with details. Thanks for the hearts, guys.
Yes.
Jessica says, oh, I already said that. Louise says, I used to carve pumpkins. Now I'm in a condo, so I don't. Louise, you can still carve a pumpkin and put on your ledge there.
Oh, out your window. Oh, you have your balcony.
That's I meant by the ledge.
Oh, it's called a balcony.
Put it on the ledge.
I thought he meant like out your window, your big front window.
You want to read this one? It's a big one.
Jessica says in Red Deer they have a place that you can donate all your leftover candy and they give out to kids who are not able to go trick-or-treating.
Ooh.
Like kids in the hospital. Ooh, that's a great idea.
Oh, I love that idea.
That is a good idea.
Maybe we could collect the candy.
And take it there?
Yeah, from like parents that don't want to keep candy around for
Yeah,
months.
That's a great idea.
Ooh, you guys think that's a good idea?
We could be like the collection center.
I would pick up candy from parents just so kids didn't eat it for a month after. Louis says I used to buy stuff that I couldn't or wouldn't eat. That's a great idea. Because then you don't have them like, of course that was one of your tips, but then you don't have it sitting around for months or weeks and you're sitting there staring at it. And you know what the thing is when we have these candies? We put them in a bowl on the table. Well, of course, if they're in front of us all the time, we're going to eat them. Like if you chop up vegetables and you put them on the counter, you're going to eat them.
Right.
And so are the kids, I guarantee it. So put something out there that you're going to enjoy, and don't put things out there that you know you shouldn't be having.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And you know what else is? We usually buy the trick-or-treaters candy like a week before because we don't want to miss out, right? Like on whatever it is. So we have it sitting around our house for like a week. Before. And chances are, I think I'll rip into them.
You're like, oh, I actually ran out of candy. The kids ate it.
So if you can
Homework is free.
refrain from that and buy it maybe the night before or the day of, because there's going to be a lot of candy still at the store. So if you can refrain and buy it closer to the day, that always works well too. That's usually what we do.
Are you saying reframe or refrain?
I don't know, Drew. Refrain. I don't know what I said.
Refrain.
Refrain. Refrain.
It's a refrain.
C'est mon français.
It's with an M, I think. Is it with an M, you guys? Reframe.
Refrain.
I think you're saying it with an N, though. Refrain.
Saying it in the French way.
Ruby says we buy little oranges and Sharpie jack-o'-lanterns and faces on those. I lost it.
We buy, the little oranges, the mandarin oranges, and Sharpie little jack-o'-lantern faces on them. And those out with stickers and glow sticks. And Lily is allowed to keep a few pieces, and then she leaves her bag of candy for the witch. Oh, the witch switch.
Yes.
And she will take the candy and leave her new stuffy or books. I love the witch switch idea.
That was one of Dorothy's tips.
That was one of my tips. Was the witch switch. So the witch switch, Ruby, you can help me out if I get it tangled up a little bit here. But the witch switch, I must have heard it from you, Ruby, because I was telling Drew yesterday when we were talking about ideas from the show. I said I was telling Drew I want to talk about the witch switch. Woo! So I'm getting tangled already. And I said to Drew, I don't remember who I got that idea from. I said, but I'll ask on the show because there was probably somebody close to us. So, Ruby, it must have been you that told me about Witch Switch. But, so, the Witch Switch happens the night of Halloween. Ruby, you help me out if I get things wrong. So, the Witch Switch happens the night of Halloween. And you take your bag of candy and you put it on your front step. So, you could have your kids pick out a certain amount of candies that they want to keep. Whatever it is, 10 candies or whatever you wanted them to keep. And then the rest of their big giant bag of candies goes on the front step before they go to bed. So you just put it outside on your front step. While they're sleeping, the witch comes and takes their bag of candy and replaces it with a coloring book or a stuffy or a small toy or something like maybe some crayons or some art supplies, but something that they would be able to use as opposed to candy. So then in the morning they wake up and they open the door and woo, witch. So the witch came and replaced their candies with something of more value.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I love that. It's like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like Christmas, I suppose. It's not really switching anything. But it's such a great idea because I think the biggest part with parents is, you know it from your teaching career.
Mm-hmm.
Kids have candies, then the parents send the kids to school with candies for the next month. Mm-hmm. And then the kids are bouncing off the walls and they don't have the brain function, the brain clarity, they don't learn properly. So it's detrimental to everyone. The teacher has to deal with the kids bouncing around. The parents have to deal with it as well. So it's why don't we do something about that? In advance, why don't we have a plan to be this is what we're doing, you get this much candy and the rest we'll give away, donate, throw away. It's usually low quality anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, one of the most dreaded days of the year for a teacher is the day after Halloween. We usually hope that Halloween's on a Friday or so that the next day is Saturday and there's no school. Or on a Thursday night there's Friday, no school Friday. But just because the kids are up later than normal on Halloween night, and then all of the sugar, and it really, really affects their behavior and their ability to listen, to focus, to learn. Yeah.
We have some comments on here. We mix it up, the seeds. Oh, here you go. Is this one?
That's Ruby's about her seeds. So I asked her what seasoning she likes. She says we mix up for the seeds. We mix it up. Usually coconut oil, Himalayan salt, and cinnamon. And made a lavender chai syrup one last year. Wow, that sounds amazing.
Guess you're super creative. Jessica said something crazy too.
I make a chai honey and it's amazing on pumpkin seeds.
Oh my God, how do you do that? Chai
What
honey.
spices do you need for that, I wonder? What spices do you need?
Let us know,
Chris?
Jessica. All we do is like, we scoop it out, rinse off the gooey stuff, rinse off the seeds, sprinkle some, sprinkle some Himalayan salt in and bake them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's all we do.
I've never even thought of being more creative.
Nah.
Let us know, guys. Maybe we'll change it up this year. Want to read Shauna's?
Shauna says, we get very little trick-or-treaters on the farm. Juice boxes are good and sometimes do a little package made with the juice box, chocolate, and a craft, like felts or something. I like that idea. You know, we don't get very many either, Drew. Like
I know. I'm always disappointed. So last year was the first year that we actually did more with the house. Like
yes.
We actually, Shauna gave us a hay bale.
Oh, yeah!
So we stuffed a, what do you call it? A scarecrow? We stuffed a scarecrow, and then we put it on a hay bale, and then we had a bunch of pumpkins from Alexa.
We had a lot of pumpkins.
We had pumpkins on every stair, every step. So anyways, it was exciting. It was so much fun. But I was expecting, we like to see kids dressed up. So we were waiting for the kids to come, and no one's coming. And they're kids across the street. I was like, hey, kids.
And then I said to Drew, you're going to be that creepy guy that nobody wants to come to your house because he's lurking at the door. Come over here, kids.
I have candy. Yeah, so it didn't really pan out that well. But we only had a handful of kids.
Yeah, we don't get very many. Maybe a dozen or so.
I think it's our street, though, because there's something to the left. There's no one there. Across the street, there's no one there. So, when we were trick-or-treating, you go to the houses where there's the most people available.
Right.
So you can get the most candy.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's only a few people on the block, you skip the block.
Yeah.
So we're the block that gets skipped.
Yeah, I think so, too.
If anyone has lots of kids, we want to come over and hang out.
Yeah! That'd be so cool.
Ruby says, you got it, Dorothy.
The witch switch. Got it right.
I want to do something this year for the witch switch. Tell us what you guys think we could do to help with the community and candy for a witch switch kind of thing. If anyone has any ideas, we'd love to participate.
Drew wants to go around and be the witch?
I would do something. We would donate something, or we could collect the candy from parents that don't want it, or we could take it to that Ronald McDonald house. Is that what it is?
In Red Deer.
We could do something. I'd love to do something like that. What did Jessica say?
When I worked in this school, most kids had more candy in their lunches compared to healthy food. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, we tried to do something about that. Didn't exactly pan out, but we tried to go into schools and make a bit of a difference. But it's super challenging to change the mindset of everyone in schools. So
yeah,
didn't work out. What did Louise say there? Oh, you live on a quiet street.
Yes, we do.
We do. It's kind of nice though. It's nice to live on a quiet street, especially when we're here. We have a beautiful place right next to the water. We can see the water, but there's this really busy street. We don't really mind it, but compared to here, to Olds, it's night and day. Everything's so different, but it's you can walk down the street in Olds, and sometimes, especially coming back from here, it's a bit eerie. Where is everyone?
The people.
Where's everyone? What's everybody doing?
What are we missing? It's everyone skipped town. What did we miss? What's happening? What's everyone running away from?
But it's nice to have the
balance or the no.
No, what I'm looking for, but it's nice to be able to see or to be a part of quiet, and then it's kind of crazy. When we're in Old, we like it to be quiet, and we like to kind of do our own thing, but then here we like to be in the middle of a park with 100,000 people and monsters chasing you. It's very weird. What did we say?
When I lived in Lethbridge, we often had 75 to 100 trick-or-treaters. That is crazy.
That's awesome. It's a lot of candy to give away.
A lot of candy.
You'd be giving out one raisin. One raisin for you.
Enjoy!
Okay. What's your next tip?
Well, I said lots of tips.
You did say lots of tips.
Well, I could say one more about preparing for Halloween is planning like a route with your kids, because I think that we get out there and if we don't have a plan, then we just keep going to more and more and more and more and more and more houses, you know. But if you have a route that you want to hit, when that route's over, then you go home. You know, instead of, I think we get, especially when the kids are a bit older, they get caught up in hitting as many houses as you can. You know?
Well, I think it's about getting as much candy as possible.
Yes.
And I like the idea of sometimes, like, I think it was Dana Holloway. She's really cool with her ideas and what she does with the kids. And I think she was talking about a while back how they had, like, it was like a movie night. Like, I don't know, and maybe it was someone else or
Scavenger hunt?
No. Well, maybe.
Sorry.
Well, this one in particular, like, we often get different ideas, but this one in particular was like, it's a fun movie night, and then you carve pumpkins, and then you have coloring books or something like that. But it's about like having fun, like dressing up and having a sleepover or whatever it is. It's not just about going trick or treating and seeing how much candy you can get.
I see. Yeah, like making the candy part or the trick or treating part just a small portion of the night or the events. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that could be a part of it, but it could be not everything.
Yeah.
Like you don't get dressed, like you get dressed up and you go get Halloween candy and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that'd be a tip of mine to make the night, like for me, like I could picture like having the house all done up in Halloween stuff and then getting dressed up and like putting some movies on or some scary music and playing board games or carving pumpkins on that night maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I like it. I just thought of, I don't know if I got this idea from somebody else, but around like planning your route, you could make like a treasure map or a scavenger hunt for the kids or with the kids, and those are the particular houses that you would visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. You got some comments coming on here. Oh boy. Shauna says 200 plus in Grand Prairie.
That's so many.
That's a lot. I might be exhausted. You
Yeah.
just leave your door open.
You just leave it open.
That's a lot. Jessica says I use cinnamon, fennel, ginger, and black pepper. I mixed it into honey.
Oh.
Done. Wow. What time should we come over and have some? And then we got Jessica. You want to read that one?
We get 5 to 10. We live in a quiet crescent, so only our neighbors typically come. We usually make bags for them with their names and leave them out on the step and go trick-or-treating as a family.
That's cool.
That is a very cool idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. What happens if someone comes by and they don't have their name on the bag? Tell us that, Jessica. Like, did they take someone else's? No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully they wouldn't. So that would be one of my tips, is to make it more...
Of an event?
Yeah, make it more an event. And I think you really have to like Halloween. I think sometimes people just try to get through it.
Right.
And I understand, like we talked about the commercialization of it. And it's just like candy, buy all this junk. Like a lot of it's like plastics, cheap stuff that breaks, you throw it away. And we're not really plastic people. You guys should check out our last YouTube show where it's called Day in the Life of D&D if you haven't checked it out. It's not the last one. It's a
couple episodes ago. We did a show on reducing plastic and ways that you can reduce your plastic waste in your home, things that we do. And we also did a beach cleanup, which was really eye-opening for us. So that's all in our show about reducing plastic, Day in the Life. And it was really interesting doing the beach cleanup and seeing just how the waste breaks down. Like, it doesn't go away. It's always there.
Yeah.
It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. For example, styrofoam, it doesn't go away. It just breaks down smaller and smaller and smaller into these little pieces. And the cleanup crews can't, like the machines they use to clean up the beach, it doesn't get those small pieces. So those small pieces get washed into the ocean. It's crazy.
Well, I think maybe some people wouldn't know that they usually have like these big machines that kind of sweep. They like almost like grate the sand.
Mm-hmm.
So they come, and I think it's unfortunate to begin with that they have to have those machines to pick up other people's trash. So that's hard to deal with. And then there is the trash that's too small, so it has to be picked up by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
sorry, go ahead.
And for us, it was eye opening to be like, we know how bad plastic is.
Mm-hmm.
Like those bottle caps are everywhere, plastic bottle caps, and it was a bit surprising for us to be like, to find smaller and smaller pieces. And they told us that like styrofoams and plastics, they don't go away. They're not recycled. They don't not compostable. What they do is get smaller. So they get so small, the fish start to eat them
because they
think it's food, and then we eat the fish. So I'm like, so we had a conversation. We're like, so we're eating our own trash.
We're eating our own garbage.
It's crazy.
Great. But what was like Drew was saying earlier about the plastic bottle caps, and that's one of the reasons that we really dislike those plastic water bottles, is because the beaches are just littered with the lids. And we heard some crazy statistic, I can't remember it anymore, but about how small the percentages of those plastic water bottles actually get recycled. It was like a super small percent. Right. And I can't remember, but something like 10% or 20%, maybe not even 20%, of them actually get recycled. So then we have 90% of the plastic ones not even going to a recycling center.
Right. So
it's like crazy. Like when people come out with those big flats of water bottles. I want to be like, no! Take it back! Don't do it!
You know what you're doing. Yeah, so that's a bit challenging for us, but excuse me, what I was getting at is that many times Halloween stuff is like everything's wrapped in plastic, or there's plastic costumes that you throw away, or there's all the candies are wrapped in plastic, so there's a lot of plastic around the Halloween season, so that's hard to deal with as well.
Yeah, and with costumes, we always made our own costumes as kids, which was really fun. So we would get material or, I don't know, hand-me-down clothes, and we would make our own costumes with the help of my parents. But you were talking about making it an event, right? So we never, went to the store and bought costumes or picked out costumes. It was always, handmade, so that's, something that you could incorporate into, a tradition. But I think sometimes now, though, it's all about, the rat race, and I think maybe that's what makes it more difficult to spend the time and do those things, is there's just so much going on, and time is always so precious. So I think that's how we got moved into more of the, Costco selling costumes. All of these places like Walmart, all of these different box stores are selling tons and tons of costumes, like you were saying, that are like plastic and we wear once and then it's gone.
We actually had Dawn, she's part of our monthly membership group, and she was selling some on the buy and sell.
Yeah.
Which would be a cool way to reuse instead of buy new. They're cheaper, and then you can get more use out of it instead of one use and then throwing them away. We
had a dress up, like a tickle trunk, when I was growing up. When we played dress up all the time, like me and my brothers. But that's where our Halloween costumes would go, in our big tickle trunk. So we have some funny pictures.
I'd like to. Too bad we didn't have them. We could drag them on the screen.
But that's some idea to do with leftover Halloween costumes, is play dress up. That was one of my favorite things to do.
Play dress up.
Playing dress up.
Chantel says, how about using a small pumpkin container instead of a big pillowcase for collecting candy? Yeah, that's a good idea. Or having some type of smaller container. Mm-hmm. For sure.
That was actually on my list, Chantel.
Oh, she gotcha.
Having small bags instead of like you were saying, Chantel, is such a great point. We usually go out with a big, giant pillowcase, and then it's almost like an obligation to fill it.
Right. Gotta get as much candy as possible.
Get as much candy. But if you go with a smaller bag or a smaller container, then once it's filled up, you can go home, right?
Nikki had a comment here.
20 years ago, we used to get 200 kids in Olds. We had to go out and buy more candy our first year. Since Olds has grown, we are only getting about 100 or so in our neighborhood.
Oh, you get 100 people at your house, Nikki? That's a lot.
That is still a lot, hey?
I wonder what happened. Do you guys have any suggestions, or what do you think? Why do you think there seems to be less kids? Like in the neighborhood, I still have family in the neighborhood I grew up in Calgary, and they seem to get less people.
I think it's you guys tell us your thoughts, but I know there's a lot more events that happen on Halloween night, like community wise.
Like what?
Well, like in our community in Olds, for example, like the CLC always has something going on, like big blow up bouncy houses, like parties like that. And I think some of the churches have things going on, like a harvest festival, as opposed to Halloween, like traditional Halloween, like dressing up, trick or treating. Like they have like more of like a carnival kind of thing, like harvest, like fall carnival kind of thing, as opposed to Halloween. So I think there's just more and more things going on like that as well, like community events.
I put the link to our last show. I put the link to our last YouTube show in the comments. It's not a very pretty link, but so if you click on that, you can watch our last YouTube show. We love comments, and we love if you would subscribe to our channel. That really helps us. We're trying to build our channel or our outreach on YouTube, so that would definitely help. Jessica's talking about plastic here.
Plastic bottles also can mess up female hormone levels. So bad for everything and everyone.
Yeah, we're with you, Jessica. There's so many down negatives to plastic. We're so against plastic, and it's so challenging because it's plastics everywhere. You have to put in so much effort to make a little bit of a difference, but I think we all have an obligation to make a little bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
What else we got? Hilda said more parents are taking children to community centers. That's I wonder why though. Not that I'm against. I don't know. Yeah, not that I'm against it. I'm just curious. Like I wonder why it's not more people are going to houses, but they're going to community centers, churches, facilities. I think he says definitely events are popular, especially when the weather's...
there's a good answer to why, right? Because the weather hasn't been very great, really, the last few years, especially in Olds. So that, rainy, cold, do you want to go around trick-or-treating, or do you want to go to an inside event?
Well, often, at least when I grew up in Calgary or Alberta, is that it would often be the first snowfall around Halloween. So you might get it a couple days before, on the night. You'd hope to get it a couple days after. But it seems like now it's becoming earlier and earlier.
Earlier, yeah.
And then Louise said, what did Louise say?
I think communities don't...
I think older communities.
Oh, sorry. I think older communities don't often attract younger families. Many times young families move to new communities.
So what do you say? What's she saying there? Like that...
The older communities wouldn't have a lot of families in them.
So they wouldn't get the kids trick-or-treating?
Right. Because usually you would trick-or-treat in your own little community, right? But if you have an older community... There's no little ones.
So you need to move to a newer community to get more kids.
That's right, Drew. The malls, Jessica says, the malls here has safe Halloween. Parents take them there because they know the candy is safe and kiddos are warm inside.
So the kids go trick-or-treating in the mall?
Yeah, so each store hands out candies. So you go store to store and get your candy.
I didn't know malls did that.
I think it's a newer thing. I'm not sure if every mall does, but...
Well, you said the mall's here. Where are you, Jessica? You said the mall's here. What do we got here? She says not safe. Oh yeah, we got that. Shauna says with our kids, we only went to people's places we knew, so we wouldn't drive them around, not go door to door. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool idea. Did you guys? Oh, where did she grow up? Grand Prairie?
Shauna?
Yeah,
I think so. Let us know, Shauna.
Shauna, where did you grow up? It's a bit different. I think it's a bit different if you're growing up in...
But she was talking about with her kids.
Yeah.
With our kids. They would just drive around to the houses of people they knew instead of going door to door walking.
Well, I heard that if you go to country houses, they give you more stuff. And I never did as a kid because I grew up in the city, but because they only get so many kids, so you would get a little baggie of things, which might be nice. I don't know. So, what else? Oh, Ruby says they do it in Calgary at malls. All malls, I believe.
Okay.
Oh.
Jessica said Red Deer, but I know Chinook and Market Mall in Calgary used to. That's awesome. That's cool. Then you're warm inside.
Shauna said old with kids. Oh, okay.
In Edmonton, the malls are a popular place to get candy.
So maybe kids are going to malls instead of houses.
Maybe.
That's interesting. I had no idea. Thanks for the feedback, guys. It's always nice to know things that we don't know. I always think that we learn more from you guys than we teach you.
It's so true.
Do you have any other candies? I just read candies on the sheet. Do you have any candies that you'd like to share?
We talked about the witch switch. I like that one a lot as an alternative to, get rid of the candy. We talked about donating the candy as well to children who didn't have a chance to go trick-or-treating. Another idea that came from my own childhood was to have a jar. So picking a certain amount of candies per week or per day, whatever you think, and have a jar, and that is your candy for the week, let's say. So you're not always going into the big bag of candy. So one of my, the kids I grew up with, his mom always did that, is they had a jar, and they would pick for the week the candies they wanted. So they'd pick 7 candies, let's say, for that week. And then they could have one a day, for example. And when Drew and I were talking about that, we were like, but then it drags out for so long. But you could do that for a couple of weeks, for example. And then maybe the candy goes goodbye after that. But we were talking about in school, it's like kids just bring so much candy in their lunch. But that would help out with that aspect if you just got to pick one a day.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But then you have a limit. So maybe you have like a big jar. I'll put this down here.
Good idea.
We don't like liquids around the computer. So maybe you have a big jar or 2 big jars, whatever it is, and that's what they get. Like that's all they get to keep from their bag of candy, and then the rest is donated or given away or thrown away, whatever it is. But then it doesn't drag on forever, and then they have their little bit of an allowance. So you'd have someone like me, and like I would make that candy stretch out as long as possible, and Dorothy would eat it all in one night. But then
just to get rid of it.
But I think then you're giving the kids, like you're teaching them something. Like, do you want to save that? Because I think that like we have this mindset of like, oh, there's unlimited. Mm-hmm. Or like I can always have that, and I wouldn't want to teach a mindset of lack, but just a responsibility. Like if you spend all your money, you can't just go use your credit card to buy more stuff. Yeah. Right. So you're teaching them something like that's as much candy as you have. You can eat all of it in one night if you want, but you can make it last, and then you're teaching them. You're giving them life lessons as opposed to just being like, here's as much candy as you want. Go crazy. Or you don't get any more candy. Like, give them the choice. I like the no choice.
The no choice. That's it?
I don't. Shauna says I don't want it in my house either. Oh, wait. I missed that comment. Sorry, Shauna.
Shauna said, I send any leftovers of Dave to work. It's devoured.
I don't want them. That's awesome, Shauna. And that's the best thing you can do. Don't leave it in the house.
That's right.
If it's not in the house, you're not going to eat it. And most people are not going to go and buy extras after something like that.
Well, that was another thing that I was going to point out was usually after Halloween Day, all the candy's like on blowout, like 50% off, 75% off.
Because they don't want it.
Because they don't want it. So don't go to the store the day or two after Halloween because a lot of people are tempted by those sales, right? So just stay away from the stores until it's all gone.
That's right. Jessica says, as much as I love new things, we try to keep traditional things in our kids' lives. Mm. We'll always go door to door trick-or-treating, but just limit and watch Candy Control. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm old school too, Jessica. Like, I like tradition. I like to go, like, I'd rather go door to door than to a mall, for example. But I could also understand, like, if it's freezing out or if you want the kids safe in a mall. But I personally would go door to door. So, yeah. What else did we miss here?
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki. What does Nikki have to say? Remember that one?
It saves me when I watch TV movie and people are trick-or-treating in their cute costumes and their parents are in t-shirts. I've been out many times in my snowsuit, walking with my kids.
Yeah, it's when it's cold out. I would have a snowsuit on too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I moved here from New Brunswick, and it doesn't get cold in New Brunswick like it does here, and especially not as quick. Like
You mean here? You mean in Olds?
or in Olds.
Okay.
That's what I meant, in Olds. So when like my parents don't even shut down their pool till after Thanksgiving, like it's warm. But anyway, when I moved to Alberta, I was surprised that like, my first Halloween here, how cold it was, and that the kids were actually wearing their snowsuits because we never did that. Like, wear snowsuits or anything under our costumes. We just wore our costumes.
We did. It's freezing in Alberta.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Alberta.
freezing.
I think it's like kind of like, well, it's colder out. Like I was thinking about colder provinces. Like Manitoba's pretty cold. Saskatchewan gets pretty cold. But like that's how we grew up. It's cold. That's why we're here. It's not cold. Well, there's something I wanted to mention. Oh, I wanted to do this one. Check out. This is our other camera that no one really likes, but I love it. Check out our new Elefante.
So that's our little meditation stretching area. Can we show them a little more? Are the computers in the way?
You can see a little bit of it.
We can see a little bit of our corner, meditation corner. But we just got this new elephant that we like really muchly.
That's right. And we in one of our newer D&D shows coming up
Tomorrow.
Oh my!
Our newest D&D show comes out tomorrow when we talk about our morning routine, and meditation is in our morning routine. We talk about how to set up like a meditation corner, or you don't even have to call it a meditation corner. It could be like your prayer corner, or your quiet corner, or your stretching corner,
Breathing corner.
breathing corner. But we talk about some of the things we have in our meditation corner and why we have them there, why we meditate, how to meditate. We talk all about that.
Yep. So tune in to our YouTube channel to check that out, because we want to keep that show on YouTube, not on Facebook.
That's right.
So if you want to watch that show, you have to go to our channel. So we hope you do get a chance, because we are working on reaching an audience on YouTube as well. We love our Elefante. Okay, that's enough of that.
That's enough of that.
Okay, I don't know if there's anything else.
I think we covered the list.
That's a good list. Dorothy has 2 categories there.
I do.
Do you guys have anything else to add for
Halloween tips and tricks?
Halloween treats, ideas? Dorothy put together this whole 10 recipes. If you guys haven't heard us talk about it recently, she put together 10 recipes. They're all pumpkin.
Oh,
They're all amazing. And all you have to do is put your email in so we can send it to you. Otherwise so the thing is, sometimes I like to explain this because people are like, people are so scared to give out their email. But there's always unsubscribe buttons. It's actually by law you have to have an unsubscribe button on emails that you send out in mass production. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want our emails, all you have to do is hit unsubscribe. But we have to put it this way. Otherwise, we would be personally or individually sending these PDFs to hundreds of people. So all you have to do is put in your email address so we know exactly where the PDF is going to be emailed to. So if you want to, if you haven't not subscribed, but if you haven't put in your email there, I'll put it in the comments right now. But the recipes are absolutely amazing. Can I pull it up?
Sure, you can pull it up. So we've got, every recipe is a pumpkin recipe. So we've got pumpkin cookies, we've got muffins, you'll see here when Drew pulls it up, granola. We have a really nice pumpkin dip that you can dip your apples into. What else we got in there? Oh, one that we've really, really, really been enjoying is pumpkin oatmeal. The pumpkin spice oatmeal.
Oh yeah, we've been having that quite a bit.
Yeah. And then we have this one here is our pumpkin protein balls. So we've just taken the original recipe of our Complete Truth protein balls and added some pumpkin and some spices to make it more for the season.
Yeah, pumpkin bread, pumpkin granola is amazing. The pancakes could be my favorite. Yeah. And it's amazing. So all you have to do is enter your email address here, and then there's an automatic button that you click to download your own PDF. It's super easy. So that will that'll get to you to our pumpkin recipe, and I'll put that in the comments. Can I grab that from there? Oh.
Yep. And on Cooking with Dorothy, for this, we just started a new segment of Cooking with Dorothy, a new block of 6 shows. Last week we did, or this past Tuesday that just passed, we did the pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Oh, they're so delicious, melt in your mouth. So we made those, but this coming week we'll make another pumpkin recipe on Cooking with Dorothy. So if you would like to tune into that, we do that at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday nights. So check it out there.
Yeah, is anyone dressing up for Halloween? Because we are.
Last year we did Wizard of Oz, which was pretty cool. Drew was the Scarecrow and I was Dorothy, of course.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, I had this little dress I had like the traditional Dorothy dress to wear, but it was too cold. So last minute I had to switch it up, and I wore jeans and just a little plaid top, like Dorothy plaid top. It was fun.
Yeah, we have some pictures on our Facebook page that we'll share. Yeah, we'll share here soon. So if you haven't checked out, or if you're not on our face, or I guess you're probably watching right now, but if you're not on our True Form page, check it out. And then I'm going to put in the comments here, Dorothy's last chocolate chip pumpkin cookies. So I'm just putting the link there in the comments, and they are absolutely amazing. So click on that link there to check out. Dorothy's going to show you exactly how to make them.
Yeah. It's fun, like Cooking with Dorothy. Cooking with Dorothy is a lot of fun because it's a place that you guys can come in and we can get to know you better. We interact with you. You ask questions about baking, about healthy eating. And it becomes more of a conversation, I suppose, than a cooking show, right? So, it's both. It's conversations with you guys, but cooking at the same time. It's like intermingle.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun. That's all I was trying to get across, is that it's fun.
It's like this. What's Shauna saying?
Are you in California or Olds for Halloween? We would like to be in California.
We're going to be in Olds, Shauna.
But we'll be in Olds. We'll be in Olds for Halloween this year.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to traditionally that we do every Halloween. So we're looking forward to being in Olds. Some things are, like we love the beach, of course, but some things are a bit different. And maybe that's something that we might transition to. But like Christmas, for example, without snow, it's a bit odd. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the beach Christmas.
No.
But like maybe Christmas, like Halloween kind of stuff, like there's so much tradition, at least that I grew up with, speaking for myself.
Well, what's interesting or different is, to me, Halloween is, it's when the leaves are different colors, and when now it's winter in Olds, but it's fall. You're walking around in the coolness of the evening, and the crunchy leaves on your feet, and the colorful leaves in the trees, right? And here it's not like that. Like you don't have that fall like at the beach, right? And so feels still like summer here, but then you have these ghosts and goblins and all of these things. Like, because people still decorate. You have your pumpkins and your ghosts and goblins, but it's still summer. Like, it's still green, and there's no color changes in the leaves, or it's not cool air. So it's just different. And then at Christmas time, it's different because, like Drew was saying, there's no snow. So you have like a blow up snowman as a decoration in the sand.
Which I think some people like that. Like they like to go away and have like a beach Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. But I think like growing up, it's like you have your memories of like snow and snowmen.
Yes.
So it's a bit different. And you're like, when a couple years ago I was here, and there was like palm trees had Christmas lights on, and then on grass there was like blow up snowmen, and I was like, something doesn't seem
Frosty,
quite right.
what are you doing?
Frosty would be melted. Shauna says fall's gorgeous in Alberta. Shauna, we don't get a fall. It's like summer, and then there's like 2 days of fall, and then it's winter.
If you want to see a really good fall, like, you gotta go to the East Coast, you guys. Like, and I'm not just saying that because I grew up there and I'm biased, but they have the best falls in, like, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Just so gorgeous. The weather is warmer than Alberta, and it lasts. Like, their fall is actually a season, and the colors are magnificent. So you get, like, the deep reds that we don't really get in Alberta. The deep reds and the different shades of oranges and yellows. It's beautiful. I mean, because we have all the maples, right? So if you want a gorgeous fall, go to the East Coast.
Well, one of the comments was, we have family in Connecticut, and one of the comments I always hear is like, first thing, like when I talk about Connecticut, oh my gosh, the falls are amazing there. And it's the same climate, it's like 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar.
Pretty similar to New Brunswick. I've been wanting to go back for fall for a number of years now. We haven't made it yet.
We'll get there. Jessica says my 3-year-old is being Maleficent. Should I know that? That's like I think that's a cartoon movie, isn't it? Show me and Jessica. We don't have 3-year-olds.
We're really not very good at the new characters.
Cartoon movies?
Characters.
I watched Moana at the beach the other day, or last summer. Drew loves Moana. I was just surprised how good it was. I was like, I like movies, and I'm not like, I don't have like a little 2-year-old, so I don't sit there and watch the same movie over and over again to develop a love for them. So I'm like, nah, I don't really want to watch a kid's movie. So we're like, Dorothy's like, let's go for the experience, because you literally sit on the beach, and they put it up on this big giant screen. And I really enjoyed it. It was great. It wasn't like a fairy tale. It wasn't like they fall in love. It wasn't a princess. Like, seems like every kids movie is. Yeah. At least when we were growing up. And now, there was like a message. It was worth like learning. It was a good example, and it was like well put together.
Yeah, so Drew was like, I don't want to go watch that kids movie. And I said, well, you know what? It's not really about what movie they're playing. It's about the experience. You know, you sit in the sand, and you sit on your blanket, you have your snacks, you sit together, and it's just was so cool. And then he was like glued to the movie. I don't even think we talked.
It's a good movie. Jessica says my 3-year. Oh yeah, we said it. I'm dressing up my 5-year-old as a crow. I'm trying to find a Sleeping Beauty dress, and my husband will be Prince Philip. Oh my gosh. Can you send pictures, or will you post pictures, Jessica? That would be adorable. Christmas without snow is so different. Seeing Christmas lawn ornaments without snow is so different.
It is.
Yeah, for sure, Louise. It's, some people... Oh, Louise Louise, were you in Florida last Christmas or the one before?
I can't remember if you were there for Christmas or not, Louise. You'll have to let us know. I was in Florida when I was little. We went to Disney World. I think I was like 10 or something like that. But I remember feeling like that. Like, ooh, it doesn't even feel like Christmas when there's no snow.
And Sean says not this year. Yeah, we didn't get a fall this year. No question. Louise says 10 degrees in Calgary. Wow. Ooh. That's awesome. And then Jessica says, I don't even know how to pronounce that. That movie you're talking about?
Oh, it's Sleeping Beauty? Is the evil lady who put the sleeping person on Sleeping Beauty. We should know that one.
We should know that one. Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh, but I think isn't there a movie with her as like the main character instead of Sleeping Beauty as the main character?
Oh, kind of like when they do that for Wizard of Oz.
Wicked. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. I enjoyed Wicked. And then at least, I was in Florida last Christmas. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, I think we should wrap things up.
Yeah, let you guys get on with your day, and we'll do the same, I guess.
Hey, Suzanne. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for saying hi.
Yes, hello, good morning. We're just actually going to wrap up here.
Yeah, so we talked about, you guys can always go back and watch this. I would imagine most people are watching this live, but if anyone watches this, it's always nice to know who is watching when.
Yeah.
For different purposes, but if you are watching this after and you make it to the end, you hashtag after party. That's a cool way for us to know if, cause we always get notifications on comments after, like after this post goes live, we'll get comments on the next day or a week later, we still get comments. So hashtag after party if you're watching this later on, so we know that you watched it when we weren't live.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have anything else?
Okay, so just a reminder about our new Day in the Life of D&D coming out tomorrow. So we post those on our... Drew always puts like a little snippet up so you can see a little bit on Facebook, but to watch the full video and for us to get a view, head on over to our youtube.com/trueformlife, our YouTube channel. Subscribe, and it always helps to get the thumbs up, get the likes, and of course share with your friends, because we're really trying to build that channel up. So don't forget about that tomorrow. Then we have a new Cooking with Dorothy on Tuesday night. Other than that,
yeah, every Tuesday. We'll be back here next Friday.
We'll be back here next Friday.
And then Shauna says I got to get to my plank challenge. So in our monthly membership group, we're doing a 7-day plank challenge. So if you're not aware of our monthly membership group, we have a private supportive group, and then we do recipes, meal plans, grocery shopping lists, at-home workouts, and then we have group support. And then we do things like these plank challenges that are super fun. So if you want more details, or if you need some fitness routines, you need some help with nutrition, that's what we do.
Yes.
So we can definitely help with that. We can drop a link down here, but we have Shauna that's involved in the plank challenge, Nikki and Chantel. They all are in our membership group. So Louise is too.
Louise too, yeah.
And if I missed anyone, let me know. But Suzanne says, have a great day, everyone.
You too, Suzanne.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. We always love waking up to Friday morning. It's our favorite day.
It is.
So
Friday's a great day.
Gives us, like, of course, you have the weekend to look forward to,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives us something to look forward to at the end of the day, or end of the week as well. So
Yes.
sometimes we're exhausted after a long week of work. So
And haunted houses.
We'll post some pictures up here on Facebook and Instagram. If you're on Instagram, I put a whole, like, if you're on Instagram, I put stories throughout the whole night. So you can, and some of that goes on Facebook too.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, like the Facebook story. I don't know how you guys would access that. I really only use that for Instagram. But I put up us screaming in the little houses, videos of the people throwing fire around, the clowns chasing people. It's all there. So Instagram is it's Drew Tadia or True Form Life. You could find either one. Shauna says, enjoy your day. You two are the best. You're the best, Shauna. Thank you so much. Shauna said, good luck on your half marathon tomorrow.
Thank you, Shauna. We'll keep you guys posted on how I'm doing. Well, Drew will.
I will.
Cheering squad.
I'll take some pictures too, and we'll post everything tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a live video of Dorothy.
Starting out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or finishing.
Wonderful.
Hopefully I don't collapse tomorrow.
I think you'll be fine. Thanks for all the hearts, guys. We're at over 4,000 hearts.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's it, eh?
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will hopefully get you on our next live show. If not before then.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. That was